What's good, everyone? This is your main correspondent, Alan Taylor, and I'm back in the broadcast room yet again, always with another one. And yes, indeed, it is another one. So this is just breaking right here today. As I'm speaking to you right now, 12/16/24, we had a school shooting in Madison, Wisconsin. Now, apparently, from what I've just gathered so far, the situation is grim. A lot of people are injured, things like that. I believe they did capture the actual individual who was committing the crime, and I think they're also deleted as well. So we're going to go here first, and we're going to check and see what the chief of police had to say first, and then we're going to go from there. Quarters, nickels, and dimes, people.
Today at 10:57 a.m., our team was called to the Abundant Life Christian School in reference to an active shooter. We know that 3 people are dead, including the suspect shooter. We know that the suspect shooter was a teenage student who attended the school.
Damn.
2 other people have died. That died were a teacher and a teenage student. 6 other people were injured. 2 students are now in critical condition in the hospital, and these injuries are considered life-threatening injuries. 4 students are also at other area hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries.
Now, we have to say this every time a situation like this pops off. Where are these kids getting these weapons from? And if the parents have weapons, why aren't these weapons secure? And in chests and vaults and stuff like that they don't have the codes to, and things like that. We have to keep asking these questions, because this is shocking how these children are continuously getting hold to all these firearms. This is making no sense to me. I don't get it. Growing up, my parents never just left firearms laying around. And then when it was time, my father taught me how to use a firearm properly and how to properly store it, and things like that. Man, I don't get it. All right, so we're gonna keep this ball rolling here. This is a very sad situation. So we're gonna go to the update, and then we're gonna also go to, I think, the let's see, Wisconsin school representative. I think she's gonna have something to say too as well. Let's go here now. All right.
We've been listening together to Madison, Wisconsin Police Chief Sean Barnes. The mayor of Madison is also there. We've heard from her and other officials. They've been providing an update on a tragic situation that unfolded this morning when a gunman opened fire inside a school. 3 people are, as of this hour, dead. That includes the shooter. 6 people were injured and then transported to area hospitals. Police say their injuries range from minor to life-threatening. The shooter is a teenager and a student at the school, which is a small private Christian school with fewer than 400 students. Those students range from kindergartners to 12th graders. The shooting taking place just days before a scheduled Christmas holiday break. At this hour, police say they are.
This is a tragic situation to have to go and to actually go through for Christmas. This is ridiculous. How did this child get hold to this firearm? Who's actually responsible for this? And I get it. The child actually is the one that's responsible on the surface level from what we can see. Yes, he the one went to the school and did the deed. All I'm saying is, though, in these tragic situations where we have underage individuals that are getting hold of firearms, things like that, they have to get those weapons from somewhere close by. They're not going down to the seedy part of town and buying some weapon off some dude in the trunk of his car. They're not doing that. They're getting them from home or somewhere close by. And it's crazy to me that we're not recognizing these things. And I think that if we start holding parents accountable for certain things, certain shit like this is going to it's going to end. All right, let's keep going.
They're combing through the area for any evidence or anything really that could provide some information on exactly what happened and why. But they do not believe that there is an ongoing threat to the public at this time. Police say that they do not know the shooter's motive. It's where we start today with former Assistant Director for Counterintelligence at the FBI, Senior MSNBC National Security and Intelligence Analyst Frank Figliuzzi's back. Here with me at the table, NBC News National Law Enforcement and Intelligence Correspondent Tom Winters back, and Democratic strategist and professor at Columbia University, MSNBC political analyst Basil Michaels back. Tom Winter, what do we know?
So a couple of details from that press conference, some of which are new, which is the fact that the shooter allegedly used a handgun in the commission of this crime today. We're looking at two individuals at the school. We don't know yet with certainty, and I apologize. I made a little bit of a cutoff in the top of the press conference, so maybe the chief addressed it, but at least two individuals at the school are deceased, a number that are injured, ranging from minor injuries to life-threatening injuries. Don't know yet if those are students or teachers that were involved. As far as the individual that is responsible for the shooting, also identified as a juvenile who attends that school. Now, what we don't know, this school goes from kindergarten to 12th grade. So we don't know the age. That's a huge spread, obviously. But we don't know the age. We don't yet have a motive. That's not surprising. We're less than 6 hours.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking it should be certain age ranges that you can actually, kind of weave out. Definitely a kindergarten, second, third, maybe fourth, fifth grade, something like that. You could probably weave out, I'm just taking an educated guess on that.
Or so into this, and so we wouldn't necessarily have that information at this stage unless they had some sort of writing or made a statement prior to this. The chief said something I think interesting. They're going to wait for the medical examiner to make a determination, but he pointed out that when officers went in the school, the shooter was already deceased. So obviously this happened ahead of time. There's only two potential outcomes there: is that this was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, or that somebody else there had a gun. But I think he would have said so if that was the case. Taking a step back here, having covered, I don't know how many school shootings, I'm not going to do the math, covering the Newtown school shooting, which is occurred 12 years ago, plus 2 days, the impact on this community, whether the shooting happens in February, June, September, or December, just a week or so before Christmas, it's always going to be traumatic. But the way it impacts around the holidays of these families and these kids is very, very difficult. And that community will go through a very difficult time in the next couple of weeks. And so it was refreshing to see as strong and clear and detailed the information that we had from that police chief. It was nice to hear them kind of bring it back towards the victims and the families at the end, because that is very important. And having done this early in my career, all the focus all the time on the suspect, who did it, why did they do it, what was going on. And over the years, in speaking with these groups and speaking with victims groups, that is such a huge component, and that's the everlasting component of it. And so it's kind of changed my approach a little bit, and that's why the reason I mention it here today. But again, still need to determine how the weapon was obtained, who this kid was, the motive behind it, and then figure out if anybody else is going to face charges, though there's been no indication that to date that anybody else is involved in this.
It's such a
Okay. So we're hearing it from that angle. I'm finna go dive off into another angle here. And yes, this is very tragic. Right before Christmas time, man, wow, these people are going through hell right now. This is crazy to me. We got to get this school shooting crap under control. Ever since Columbine back in the day, and for a few before, I don't see how we haven't gotten this situation ultimately, extinguished, where some child can get hold to a firearm and be allowed to, enter a school. Like, I don't understand how this is continuing to keep going. Let's go here now. Let's check this one out. All right.
Wisconsin State Rep Sheila Stubbs joining us right now. Her district includes this Abundant Life School. Welcome to you. Boy, this is, even listening there, as I said, we did get some more information that we didn't have earlier in the day. What would you add to what you just heard?
First of all, thank you, Colin, for this interview. My heart and my prayers are with the staff. It's with the students. It's with the families. It's with the community of Abundant Life Christian School following this morning's tragic shooting. It's so painful and sad. As a parent myself, as a former special ed teacher, as a pastor in the community, this tragedy hits especially close to me at my home. I reached out to my daughter, who's at a school about 2 miles away, and texted her and was so glad to hear back from her. But my thoughts are with Pastor Tom Flattery and his congregation in this time of intense worrying and grief. And I'm grateful for our first responders for their quick action and for the continuing help to reunite families and students together. No one wants this to happen in any community. And it is so hard for us here in Madison, Wisconsin. We need all the prayers we can get. And let's not forget about those that are impacted the most, the victims in our community.
So Abundant Life Christian School, 28-acre campus, about 300 students, 60 staff. What should we know about it? What do you know about it?
I do know the pastor.
Okay, so that was a pretty small school, 300 students. There's some schools with thousands of students, so that's a pretty tight-knit school. Okay.
I am going to be the newly elected state rep to the district starting January, but I did campaign through the neighborhood. There may be students that I'm aware of. I can't think of anyone at this moment during this tragedy time. But what I can say is I know a lot of prayers happening in our community. And I know that in our community, everyone deserves to be saved. And I just couldn't imagine what it's like to be a congregant in that community or to be one of the families of the victims. And so again, what I do know is they are a stakeholder in our community. And it's so important that we just give the support as much as we can to the families, to this community, to the congregation.
That's exactly what the school itself said, putting a statement out earlier asking for everyone's prayers, understandably. What a terrible, terrible day. What the community or the area itself, just looking at the pictures now in Madison, you describe it, it's a suburban area, fairly densely populated. That is a large campus, though. It's 20-some acres.
Yeah, it is. It's a beautiful campus. Again, with me campaigning since June in the neighborhood, I met so many people. And again, it's heartbreaking. As anyone says, no one, no elected official, no family members want to ever experience this in our community. And what I can say is that no child should have to fear for their safety during the school day.
Right.
And I want to just focus on these families and our community. We're asking everyone, please continue to keep us in your thoughts and your prayers.
Yes.
And we know that it's so important that people get the services that they need. I heard our mayor say specifically, if you need mental health services, make sure you call 988. Let's make sure if you are in need of any services that you reach out for those services. I'm a former county board supervisor right here in Dane County for 16 years. And Dane County is a wonderful county where we provide so many services. And our newly elected Dane County Executive, Melissa Agard, spoke at the press conference as well and said the county's ready.
Okay. So we got the gist of this. And these are all this just happened today. So it's not just really, all the details haven't really come out yet, things like that. But, I had to report on this, of course. At the bottom line here, it ran across my feed, and yes, I had to report on it immediately. I do have family that live in Madison, Wisconsin, young cousins and stuff like that. I've reached out to them and make sure that they're okay and stuff. I haven't had a chance to pick up my phone and get back yet because I'm presenting this broadcast right here. But yeah, it's crazy, man. This is sad. We got to figure out this situation where children are getting hold to firearms like this, being able to go to schools and stuff. This is seeming like an ongoing thing, and it's not a stop. It just, but it pops up every now and then and things like that, but it shouldn't have to. It shouldn't be this way. And these are just facts. My prayers and love go out to everybody in this tragic situation. Jesus Christ, man, this is wild right before Christmas. I'm hoping these people can actually, man, have some mental stability with this situation. Definitely during the holiday season. But it is what it is, though. Shout out to all my subscribers. Mad love to y'all. If you're new to the channel, please hit that like, share, subscribe button. Make sure you ring that bell to be notified whenever I decide to post things. And like I always say, that, my friends, is the bottom line.